So, good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be there. So, I'm going to talk about BIM2TWIN, a digital twin solution to provide situational awareness for effective production control. So, European project that started almost 42 months ago. So, we are finishing this month after almost 4 years. So what's behind BIM2TWIN? So we are focusing on the execution phase, and we would like to provide the managers with an overview of the situation of what's going on site, with specific focus on the quality of the work that is carried out. And when I'm talking about quality, it's about the quality of what is erected. I mean, in terms of positioning, are my beams, my walls at the right place? About the quality of the surface of what has been erected, the concrete that has been poured is okay in terms of surface. Are there any cracks on the surface that we can detect? But also the quality with respect to the timing, to the planning. Are my elements erected at the right time or not? Also, we focus on the worker safety conditions, on the optimization of the equipments, and we had also a module for predicting the site completion that is taking into account unforeseen events that may occur during the construction and propose alternative plannings. And after that, we make a decision to select one planning among the several that are proposed in order to react and take this event into account. So the idea is to having this continuously, this loop, comparing what is built against what was really planned. Okay, this is just a picture about the architecture. So the central component is what we call the DBTP, Digital Building Twin Platform. So this is more or less the brain of the system. This is where we have defined our central data model, our ontology. On this component, we have plugged 5 dedicated services focusing on volume control and process monitoring, surface control and process monitoring, safety control, equipment optimization, and the last one about the production planning. And all these services are provided with live data that are acquired from the site through different devices. LiDAR, we use, a reduced set of devices, in fact, LiDARs, camera, so fixed picture, or videos, in order to analyze what's going on site. Then all these services are doing some processes, some analysis of these raw data, and they are sending back to the main component high-level information in order to provide this follow-up that is displayed through a dashboard. And of course, I didn't mention that we initiate that with the initial BIM and the initial planning at the very beginning. Another view of what I just said, just to stress some particular points. So we initiate our system with the construction plan, with the BIM. At the beginning, everything has been translated into graphs thanks to our internal model. So it has set up the as design and the as plan models. And thanks to the other services, we build the as perform and as build models, and we compare them, and eventually we react on that in order to update the system. And then on top of that, with the dashboard we have developed, we are able to display 2D or 3D information thanks to the KPIs we have defined in the frame of the project. Okay, we deployed this system on mainly three countries, so in Finland, in France, in Spain, on different cases, so residential office building, on a renovation building, and on an extension of an hospital also in Spain. A few words about the consortium. So BIM2TWIN, it's 17 partners across 8 countries, so from Israel to Finland. So you have the structure of the consortium, so with a balance of research technology centers, academics, contractors, technology transfer organizations, engineering companies, and IT firms also, like Orange and Siemens. Well, as we are almost at the end of this project, what are the lessons we learned, and well, the next step we were thinking about? Well, our DBTP, our main component, is suitable to provide this situational awareness that we promised at the beginning. So it means that, well, the fact that we are relying on semantic technologies was good in order to perform this kind of digital twin. The automated processing of the data, I mean, from the site, coming from the site, was really key in order to have quite agile system, so low latency between what is occurring on site and the fact that we are able to provide some reaction, to provide some alternative plannings, taking into account unforeseen events. And what I said already, the graph representation was working pretty well also to support that. But we have to keep in mind that as soon as we are working on a digital approach, on an integrated approach, we have really to focus on the structure of the data, on the coordination, how to produce these data, and spend the necessary time to understand the use cases that are behind the digital twin itself. A few words about the maturity of the technologies. So they were, if we think 4 or 5 years ago, they have evolved quite rapidly in terms of acquisition device, for instance, accuracy of the cameras, the LiDARs and things like that. And it's still evolving quite rapidly, but it was almost enough for us for what we deployed on our sites. We have been thinking also about future research tracks. Well, if you think that BIM2TWIN was really at the execution phase, so in the middle of a life cycle, so how to ease or how to facilitate the transfer from the design to the execution phase. So we take into account BIM, we take into account the initial planning, but we were facing some difficulties to align both of these inputs. I mean, in the BIM, you have the description of the elements of your building. In the planning, you have the description of the task, but it's sometimes very difficult to understand where is my wall in the planning, in a sense. So you have to align that, and it required a lot of time and effort from our side. So this can be made more easy. At the end of BIM2TWIN, well, you think that BIM2TWIN will end with the execution and the construction of the building by itself, then you have to think about the next step, which is the operation of what has been constructed. And then we can think about, well, in a sense, we have here a kind of logbook, but we didn't think further than that. So how to reuse what has been recorded during the erection of the building in the best way. So also we have been thinking about more active safety around the workers and the equipments. And later it's about how can we think about on-shelf solution, about digital twin, connected to a store of services that I'm able to pick and connect. And the last slide, just about more, so if you need some more information, we have a website, of course. You will find also recordings of a series of 5 webinars that were displayed last month. So you can have more information there. And thank you very much. That's it.